Good evening. I finally figured out the technical difficulties with printing this off so I could read it. So that is why it took so long. But this is basically a part of my testimony, one that's I think is very important to share with people. Most people do not know this about me, so it's something that I feel though is very important to share because so many people suffer from mental health issues and do nothing about it or don't take it seriously. And really, it's something that needs to be taken seriously. Not even just a little bit, but a lot. And for those of you who aren't church-going people or haven't been for a while, testimony just basically is your story, how things worked out for you in life or with any given situation. And I have a testimony that's a whole lot longer than what I'm going to share here, but we're just dealing with the mental health aspect. So I just want to, that's the part I really wanted to embrace at this point. So I wrote this down on paper because otherwise I will get on tangents and talk about stuff nobody really cares about. So I'm going to do my best to stick to the script, shall we say, and just tell you what my story is. I was saved on June 21st, 1989. Now, most testimonies that you hear end with that sentence. You hear about their past, and then they get saved, and then nobody talks about whatever. Well, that's not what happened to me. For years, I suffered from mental health issues, from mental illness, and I did not realize this. I thought everyone felt just like I did. I was normal. There were some signs that things were going wrong in my childhood, and my brother physically and mentally abused me for most of my childhood. My dad used to tell me that he would let him know if Tommy was beating me up or whatever, and then he'd take care of it. Well, that's a nice thought, but he would threaten to beat me up worse if I ever said anything. And I thought about suicide many, many times during that period. When I became an adult and got married, I thought those feelings would magically go away. They did not. I tried a couple of counseling sessions, but that didn't really help me very much. There's a reason for that, but wait for it. Eventually, Kendra talked me into going to a hospital for my problems. There I was diagnosed with all the fun stuff of bipolar disorder, panic disorder, severe depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, and suicidal ideations. I'm sure that one shocks you. They also began to diagnose my issues as a chemical imbalance in my brain. That is why they believed counseling alone would not work. And just a note here, not everyone who has mental illness has a chemical imbalance. For some people, they can work through their problems with therapy by themselves and not medication. Once I was released, I thought that was the end of my troubles. After all, I had the medications I was now taking, and I was going to counseling and support groups. That's it, right? Well, unfortunately, no. Medicating mental health is not an exact science. The reason for this is all our brains are unique. A medication that might help one person might be like taking a sugar pill for someone else. Finding the perfect combination, it takes time. And work stress became a very big problem for me. While this was going on, I was trying to support a family. But by my mental health, it caused me to struggle keeping a job. In fact, the last full-time job I had was at Wonder Bread in the accounting department. One break, I decided that it was time to end it all, and I took a massive overdose of my mental health medication. I thought that would take care of it. Thankfully, it did not. I ended up going back to the hospital, and this time my psychiatrist told me that we should start the process of getting disability because I would not be able to work again. In February of 2002, I attempted suicide once more, and this is about 4 or 5 months after the last one. This time I tried to jump out of a moving vehicle while my wife and kids were still in the car. And at this point, Kendra had to say, hey, we need to change something here, that we need to do what's best for our family. And she said, we have to do what's best for you. And she thought that if I didn't live at home for a little while, that might ease up some of the stress. I wouldn't have to worry about 2 little kids running around the house every time and stressing me out. all those daily stresses like that, they'd be gone if I could, just get a break. So I moved in with mom and dad, and I live. Thankfully, they took me in because really they didn't have to, and they took me in. And even though I wasn't living at home, I still went back home, on weekends or special occasions. I still did that stuff. I wasn't completely ostracized from my family. That was not the point of this. So anyway, just want to get back to, I did that during this time as I finally got the right medication. We eventually found it, and I've been able to work through all my issues. Now, it's not, it's not the greatest thing, and not everything is, fun and roses. But I've never attempted suicide again, and I've never even come close. In 2008, I actually returned to the workforce, albeit it's part-time, and I still can't do a full-time job, but I was told I would never work again. So to be able to do a job at all is a miracle. So, things are better, yes, but is this the end? No. I still struggle with things just like everybody else. But now I'm able to deal with it without going off the deep end. I still have to take my meds, and I still go to counseling. I just saw my therapist last week. So, and I still get panic attacks. Of course, I used to get multiple a week. Now I get one every 2 or 3 years. So it's much better now. And PTSD, that never goes away, no matter what kind of thing caused your PTSD. If someone you know is dealing with any kind of mental illness, please speak up. Tell someone you trust. That person may say they're going to hate you for the rest of their lives, but you know what? Their life is much more important than whether or not you're friends. They can hate your guts all they want, but if they're still alive, you've accomplished the goal. Now, some people say that you're a Christian. You don't need to take that you don't have to take those psychiatric medications. No, you trust Jesus. You know what I say? I say, okay, all you diabetics, you quit taking your insulin. All you people with heart problems or blood pressure problems, you quit taking that medication that the doctors prescribed. Guess what? You're all going to go, what are you, nuts? Well, there you go. That's exactly what you are when you talk to someone who has psychiatric issues about taking medication. It is a requirement. I have to take it. If I don't, then I have a very unhappy wife, which will give me a very unhappy life. So you would never dream of telling someone to do that with any other thing. You should not be doing that when it comes to this. I'm just saying that straightforward. I know I kept this a little longer than I meant to, but as my wife would tell me, she's like, people who say that I don't need my psychiatric medications or my prescriptions, that she would like to see them privately and let them know all the reasons why they're wrong. And she's right. She's absolutely right. On this final note, I just want to say thank you to my wife. I didn't want her in the other room spying on me while I was recording this. I know it's longer than I meant to, and I apologize if it's too long, but she has stuck with me through an enormous amount of stuff. There's no one on this planet that has been able to be to me what she has been. She's been my best friend. She's been my wife and my love of my life. And I grow more in love with her every day. And if not for her getting involved, with her taking a very forward stance, a very important, being a strong person during this, I wouldn't be here. I mean, this would be a totally different, I wouldn't be saying I'm fixing to celebrate 25 years of marriage. I would be more like saying that, maybe, am I even alive at this point? So, but if you have someone you care about or someone you may not know them very well, but that they've got problems, you need to speak up. Don't be quiet. Don't hesitate. As I said, their lives are so much more important than your friendship. It just is. And I'm sorry if that, kind of rubs somebody the wrong way, but that's the truth. And if someone says they're thinking about suicide, take them seriously. Don't ever, anybody who says that has thought about it. Trust me. I'm a guy who knows. So I apologize. I know this took like 10 minutes, and I was going to try, Steve, I am so sorry. I was going to keep it 3 to 6 minutes. And actually, thankfully, I did at least stick mostly to the script, because otherwise this might have been a 20-minute video. So anyway, but any of y'all have questions, or you have people who need to talk, need to, whatever, need somebody to, get advice from in regards to this. I'm not perfect, and I don't know everything, but I do know from experience some things. So please don't hesitate to give me a private message or comment on this video or whatever you want to do, because I believe this is so important. I'd like to say, yeah, it's Mental Health Month, so that's why I waited this long to do it. No, it just circumstances kind of put it to this month. So, but that's okay. Just pray, Lord, that Lord, whoever shares this message and knows someone that needs help, Lord, that you'd give them the strength and the courage to take a stand and help that person out. Lord, we pray for those who are suffering with this, and we know it's a very real issue. So we just ask that you would bring those people forth to ask for help and to get the help they need. In Jesus' name, amen. No, I didn't close my eyes for all that, but that's okay. Anyway, thank you for taking the time to hear this. And again, if you need advice or anything about this, just please message me or comment. I don't care. But please, whatever you do, help those that you can. Love you guys, and we'll catch you later. Bye.